Shame is your communication problem. I often have people come talk to me when they learn that I'm a life coach and they're like, okay, I'm having this communication struggle. Usually it's with a really close friend or with their husband or their partner, or their spouse, whoever. So I want you to be thinking about the people that you have a tricky time communicating with. It could be your parents, it can be your kids, it can be your partners, whoever. We often think that it's a communication problem. We need to learn more communication skills, like maybe empathetic listening, maybe helping them understand that we really are listening to them. Maybe it's giving them a pause and making sure that we're actively listening. Maybe it's saying things to show them that we heard them, that we did understand what they said. And some of those tools can be helpful or useful to know. But what I find is that shame is actually the communication problem. What I mean is this. I want you to think about somebody that you have a really easy relationship with. You get along with them well. You enjoy them. They enjoy you. Maybe it's your best friend. They call you and they've had a really hard day. And you don't have to pause and think, oh, wait, is this where I pause? Is this where I listen empathetically? Like, ooh, did I do that wrong? Did I say this wrong? It usually just flows. Usually you pause, usually you listen, usually you give them some feedback. Like it goes pretty smoothly. You probably don't have a communication problem there. That's because you're not triggered. When I use the word trigger, I mean an emotional reaction or emotional activation that's happening within me. When I'm feeling that emotional activation, it blocks me from the communication skills that I already innately have. So just like when my best friend calls and it's an easy and smooth conversation, but then in another conversation with maybe my partner or my spouse, and I'm feeling very triggered, and then my communication skills go out the window and we have a communication problem. It's not the communication skills. You don't need to learn more skills. We need to understand that. I believe that triggers are teachers. Triggers are teachers because they're actually showing us some part of us, like that little shame piece of us that we can look at and we can heal and we can change and we can shift. I mean, I just made it sound easy and it's not actually easy, but there's steps to get there. But I just want to offer that it's not learning more communication tools or tactics or techniques. It's not learning more parenting mantras for your kids. It's not doing positive affirmations in the mirror. It's uncovering like what is really happening at the root of this feeling inside of me and how can I move through that? Because once I can come back and communicate more effectively again. Then it doesn't become a communication problem. So triggers are teachers, and we can uncover what the trigger is by asking ourselves those same kinds of questions. What meaning am I attaching to this? Where is the hurt? What am I making this mean about myself? And again, we're not consciously doing this. This is like a subconscious process that's just happening. So if you're like, oh, shoot, why am I making this mean about me? Why am I judging myself so hardcore? Like, no, we all do it. It just happens innately. It happens unconsciously. And more judgment and more shame is never going to address the shame problem. It's just going to add more layers to the shame. So instead, we can dig into what is the trigger here under the surface and what might it be telling me? What might it be teaching me right now? And can I spend some time with myself in uncovering what's really happening under the surface? And then later on, come back and communicate again. And you'll notice that if you're not triggered, you're much more effective at communicating. What's really happening is if they say something that I perceive as being really unkind, and part of me inside me takes that as shame, like maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm not connecting here. Maybe I'm not seen. Maybe I'm not worthy of respect or belonging. Maybe what they're saying is actually true about me. That's what really bothers me, because somebody could come up and say something hugely unkind to me, but it could just slide right off my back because I could think something like, maybe they're having a bad day, or I wonder what's going on with them, right? Like I know that there's times in your life where things have been said that have been unkind and they haven't bothered you. But they haven't bothered you because there isn't even a tiny little portion of you that believed what they were saying about you. But when I attach some belief to their words, when part of me is like, oh, they might be right about that, they probably are, that's when it feels like a trigger. And that's what I mean, that triggers can be our teachers. They're always there to show us something, to guide us somewhere, to guide us to some unhealed part of us that will end up leading to more connection, more communication, more intimacy, more confidence, more of what we want as we allow ourselves to dig into what's really happening underneath the trigger. If you are enjoying these episodes, I would love for you to follow, subscribe, like, share, do all those things so that it can get more out into the world, more out into the algorithm, and join me in this shame-free movement.